Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Movie Mornings. I am your host, Don Martino, and today we're going to be talking about our favorite action films. And we also have a story about Joker 2 we're going to get into, and also a story about Top Gun. It's going to be a very fun show today. I can't wait. But before we get started, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications to get all future contents. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting show. We got a little bit of a format change to Movie Mornings that I haven't told you guys about, and I'll go ahead and kind of talk about that now a little bit. So we realized we're a lot better as a team when we're talking about something that's a little bit more niche. So like when we're doing the rewatches, it's just a lot more comfortable. I think we really hit our stride there. So I made the executive decision and ran it by Dave and Jose to kind of change the format of the show a little bit and to try to make them a little bit more niche, a little bit more categorical. So the main topics won't be the news anymore. It will be mainly us talking about a category. So today, for example, is our favorite action films. And in the middle of the show, we will have a news break, but it won't be as long. It'll be a little bit more condensed, and I think it'll help the pace and the runtime. But sitting with me today, it's Mr. Jose Espinal, everybody. What's going on, Jose?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad to be here. Yeah, like Dom said, we got a new format, and I'm actually pretty excited to try this new format. I think it's going to be better for the channel and for the the audience retention in terms of this channel. And yeah, there's a couple other things too that we're going to start doing. Not differently, but just additionally for the channel that we think will help the channel in terms of audience retention as well. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you guys will see some changes on the channel coming up here soon and things that we're doing. I mean, we're not really removing anything, so don't worry. We're not taking anything away.
You'll be seeing a lot more YouTube. You'll be seeing a lot more YouTube shorts, that's for sure.
We're gonna just try to make some clips for you guys and things of that nature. And yeah, we're just working on changing things to help with your guys' retention. Really, it's important to us because I've been realizing a lot more lately. We are talking to people. There are people out there that like to interact with us, and I've been responding to comments.
I was gonna say your Sandman trailer reaction has proved that. There's a lot of people commenting on that video.
Yeah. I mean, we're really starting to interact with people, and we want to make sure that we're delivering the best viewing experience for all you guys out there. So that was kind of the idea behind the format change and just all the additional things we're going to be adding, which you guys will see up and coming. So I'm very excited about that, actually. But it's been insane, man. So I had to get a new keyboard, though. I may or may not have spilt liquid on my other one.
Yep, there you go.
It didn't work anymore. So
that'll do it.
I'm sitting there. I load up the computer, and what happened is it said wrong password, invalid password under the security code. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't even type anything. So the keyboard was just auto typing stuff on its own because I spilled the liquid on it. So I thought I had it all dried out and I got all the liquid out. But anyway, so I tried to type in the security code, and yeah, that didn't work. So
it's a good thing my PC came with an extra keyboard and mouse in case anything happens to this one here. Yeah,
that is good. So $40 later, I ended up getting a new keyboard and mouse bundle, which wasn't too bad of a deal. The keyboard works really well. I really like it. I think
that's about how much my keyboard mouse combo cost me on Amazon, and mine light up too, which is really cool. So
yeah, mine lights up now. My other keyboard didn't. My mouse always did, but I think the mouse that I have now is a lot smoother. And it works really well for gaming. I was just playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like mine because it's got the two buttons on the side, so you can use them for like extra buttons, like if that you might not need on the keyboard, you can use on the mouse. That really help with gaming.
Yeah. Don't drink and type, folks. I guess that's the moral of the story, right?
I do it all the time. What you mean?
Yeah, it's dangerous business, man.
It's about as dangerous as drinking and driving. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's close, man. I don't know. A keyboard can cost you as much as a DUI.
That you're not wrong. It depends on what kind of keyboard and where you get it.
Yeah. So
I know those mechanical ones go for so much money. Those things are expensive.
Mm-hmm. I saw a couple of those.
But they're so annoying too, though. Like when you type down on mechanical keyboards, they're just really annoying. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't get why people like those.
Yeah, I saw the prices on a couple of those, and I was like, no, no.
Have you seen those little like square keyboards that only have like a couple buttons on them? I don't know
No.
if you ever seen. Yeah, bro, it's like a keyboard that has only like maybe 16 buttons, if even that.
Wow.
And like certain gamers use that, and then they've got a mouse.
Are you talking about the Stream Deck?
No, it's an actual keyboard that you can use to game. People use it.
Oh,
it's got like 16 buttons probably, if even that. And then their mouse also has like about 10 keys on it. So they use a smaller keyboard, but a mouse with more buttons, so that when they game, it's a little easier.
Yeah, well, there's something called a Stream Deck. I don't know if you've seen one of those. Those are really cool, and I would like to get one because it would make things a lot more convenient.
That's the one. I was gonna say that's the one you can like play like sounds on and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I can install all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've always wanted to get a Stream Deck, especially because now I want to start streaming soon. I've always thought about getting a Stream Deck for me for when I stream. Because it's like easier to switch screens as well with it and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. We are gonna, by the way, I think I figured it all out. We are gonna have sound bites soon as well. I wanted to add those to the show. So I have some ideas. So you got to send me some candidates if you got any. So I mean, I was the pack that breaks the Dubek spec. That's got to be one, right?
That's what she said.
Look, that maybe look at all them fucking Indians. That's got to be another one. That's definitely got to be one. I was considering Yippee from the Phantom Menace.
Yippee,
I thought that would.
Hello there.
Yeah, but I want to make it to where like the video clip pops up. That's how I'm trying to work it out. But
hello there, and it's just Obi Wan Kenobi jumping down.
I think I figured all that out now, so we can actually have them. So once I install some, there's definitely going to be one or two from What About Bob. That's without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. 100%.
There has to be. Yeah, whether it's Richard Dreyfuss maniacal laughing or not, it probably is going to be that.
I'll be quiet and I'll be peace.
That might be one. That might be a good one. That would be a really good one, actually. Now that you mentioned that. So if you have any candidates for sound bites, send them to me, because I think I've actually figured it out to where we can have a plethora of them. So.
In other news, what's really cool is my last class we studied like the theory of like different cameras and lenses used in professional movies.
That's pretty cool.
And we actually got to like set one up and use one. It was actually really cool. We like got to do the focus pulling where we changed from the focus from one person to another. We learned like how to measure from the camera the distance that each person needs to be when you focus pull from one to another. It was actually like a lot of fun. Honestly, that was the best day of all the classes that I've had so far for this summer class. That was the best one. Honestly, I had so much fun with it.
Lenses to me are one of the most fascinating parts of the filmmaking process.
I mean, yeah, because you can have the fisheye, which is like the wider one.
Yeah.
And then you have the longer lenses, which kind of go closer up. The background's blurred. Then you have obviously the normal ones, which is like what our eyes see. There's like the zoom lenses and all. Yeah, it was some really fascinating stuff.
It's a really funny story about lenses that I remember Zack Snyder telling about when he was shooting Batman v Superman. Chris Terrio, who was co-writer on Batman v Superman along with Zack Snyder, lent his lens to J.J. Abrams to shoot Force Awakens with, and they really needed the lens. And it wasn't until like the last day that Chris finally got it back from JJ. I just thought that was funny. It was like they got the shot they needed with the lens. Like Zack Snyder got the shot, but it's really cool how like directors actually know lenses because they've shot with them so much. They know what lens to use at what scene. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
and that just shows you like how hands-on these filmmakers actually are. A great director will know that stuff. You know what I mean?
And that's why I want to be one of those. That's why I'm in this class, and that's why I'm glad I'm in this class, because I get to learn, all this amazing stuff that these directors and cinematographers know so well.
Yeah, I know very minimal about lenses.
I mean, yeah, we learned about like how you can change the white balance just from the camera. You can change.
Oh, I know how to do all that. Yeah,
and like all that. Yeah, it was some fascinating stuff.
That's honestly good, because when you get that Sony, they're not user friendly, so that information is going to be very helpful to you.
Yeah, I mean, white balance, everything from lenses, the focal length to the grid
That's useful.
Yeah. Oh, we learned. It was like a almost 2-hour long theory presentation that he gave us about just cameras and lenses alone, focal length, f-stop, all that stuff, man. It was some intriguing stuff.
It took me a long time to learn all that stuff, and I still haven't perfected it, obviously, but I have gotten a lot better. If you go look at the old videos with this camera, like I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
With those settings,
yeah.
it took a long time to learn. That's one of the things about getting one of these nicer cameras is it takes a long time to learn how to actually set all that stuff. And
the frames per second, and
the FPS is one of your most important tools.
100%. The camera we were using in class was running at 24 FPS.
That's for filmmaking. So when you're making a film, that's going to be your better
24 FPS, right?
But for me right now, I'm running in 60 FPS, which is kind of what you want for like a video like this. I like the and it kind of goes the same for gaming when you're streaming games.
Yeah, 60 FPS for
60
sure.
FPS is best for gaming.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you have the frame rate's always fascinating to me. I remember the movie. I think you like this one too. I wasn't a big fan. I just thought it was a little too busy. I didn't think it was the worst thing I'd seen. Gemini Man. Do you remember that?
I haven't seen it only because I heard that the CGI in that movie's god awful.
Well, it's not that it's god awful. So what it is, and this will fascinate you now that you kind of have an understanding of this, is Ang Lee. Ang Lee is the director. He shot the movie in 60 FPS and tried to do 3D on top of that. So what was reportedly happening, of course, I didn't witness any of this, but reportedly happening was people were going to see the movie and it was actually making them sick because of the way that he shot the movie. And that's why a lot of the negative press came out about it. Again, I didn't think the movie was trash, but even I can agree it's a little bit busy just watching everything happening in that 60 FPS. And that was without the 3D. I'm just not a big fan. So I could see it's just too much going on, and it was a cool experiment, but just not. It's not going to agree with everybody.
And then we also learned that like the more if you shoot it at 48 FPS, but then you produce it at like 24 or whatever, then it's like that's like the slow motion parts of the movie. But then if you shoot it at 12 and you're showing it at 20 and you're producing it at 24 or whatever, then it's like fast motion.
Yeah,
the fast motion. We learned like so much about all that stuff, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I hope you get to learn a little bit more because I understand we're in the digital age, and a lot of the stuff you're going to be learning.
We also obviously we learned about like film, like the difference between like film and digital.
That's what I mean. I hope you learn a little. bit more about film.
We did learn a lot about like how they used to do it back in the day, and like how the film like used to run through the camera and all that other stuff. Yeah, we did learn about that in this previous class.
When I got to go see The Last Jedi early, that was, I think, probably my second, like, advanced early screening or whatever. They had, well, that was a fan event, actually. So that what it was is, because the Star Wars sequel shot with actual film.
Right.
So what they did is, which is really fascinating, it's really, I guess, the only way to make it work in IMAX, and you might be able to correct me here if I'm wrong, is because the biggest millimeter of film
is 70. It's 70 because we just learned that in class today. The IMAX size of the film is 70.
The IMAX is 70. You're correct on that. Yes, but what they have to do to get that IMAX is they have to take a 65 millimeter and blow it up into 70. That's my
actually they do.
So the highest you can shoot in is 65. But you have to blow it up into 70. Mm-hmm. I was just always so fascinated by that. And
it's crazy, honestly.
70 millimeter film, The Last Jedi looked incredible. Like, that was so visually amazing.
It's actually crazy to think that like all these movies that we've gone to see in IMAX, especially like Top Gun, since that was shot for IMAX, to think that like the film is that big, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think.
You know what else uses real film? Because I watched, I don't know if you got to catch this, it's on YouTube now, Andrew Garfield and Zendaya's Actors on Actors interview. Did you check that out?
No, I haven't yet.
I didn't realize Euphoria shot with actual film. They don't use digital. They do actual film.
Really?
Yeah. And that makes sense. I thought that they were taking the digital copy and trying to put like a filmic effect overlay on it to make that.
But it was actually shot in film. Wow.
Yeah, they're actually using film.
That just makes that show even that more impressive. Honestly,
it is. Well, it
looks like it's shot in digital.
I think it's crazy. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's HD like a digital, but it's also got the, Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just thought that it was shot in digital, but just made it look like it was
Right.
shot
Well, I
shot
was
in
gonna say,
film.
'cause you see clips, it definitely has the film grain over everything. So
Yeah, I
now
just
that
thought
makes a lot more sense.
I just thought it was shot in digital and
Me
given
too.
that effect in post
Me
production.
too.
But
It's impressive, actually.
to hear that it was actually just shot straight on film, the entire thing is
Yeah.
even that more impressive because of how great the quality is.
Yeah. But Andrew and Zendaya had such an interesting conversation. I actually really recommend you check it out. It's really good if you're trying to get into acting. I like, there was something that Zendaya said that, not that I'm trying to be an actor by any means, but there was something that Zendaya said that I was like,
right here.
that, right. So that I was thinking about you because there was something Zendaya said. I was like, it resonated with me. That would be great. That's one of the greatest pieces of advice you can give a filmmaker.
I would definitely check that out ASAP
because Andrew Garfield asked her about Rue, and you've seen this. He was referring to the scene, and you know what I'm talking about. Where she's acting and one scene.
The one that like everyone started just talking about
exactly.
As soon as it came.
The most talked about moment that's probably going to win her a second Emmy.
100%.
Probably, but
that's what everyone's saying these days, that one's going to win her a second Emmy.
Yeah, which is impressive for her age, but because she's still the youngest to win. So
what, an Emmy
for a leading actress in drama series? She's the youngest. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
congratulations.
She'll probably win another one here. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then she'll be the youngest to win too, I think, at that point. But so Andrew Garfield was discussing a scene with her where he asked about that scene specifically, and she said, everything that I have pent up in here inside, I give that to Rue. Rue's the character.
Oh, wow.
I give all that to Rue. That made so much sense to me, and it shows when you're watching those moments. And because how else do you get to that place? You know what I mean? Because when you watch her get to that place, it's unreal. Like it's real. It feels real, but
it's surreal.
It's surreal. It really is. So to me, that made so much sense when she said that. I was like, that might be one of the greatest nuggets that an actor can hear. If you really want to dedicate yourself, and that's a lot to ask, I understand that. But to take all that pent up emotion that you have inside and just lend it to the character is wild to me. To like let that out when you're in the character, to keep it all in, to put out into the character as well. But it was a fun discussion. They talked about Spider-Man a little bit too, and it was a really nice, really fun discussion.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
They seem to really like working together. I guess the first scene they shot together is when he catches her. That was the first scene they shot together.
Right, yeah.
Because those things are always shot out of, I'm sure you know this by now, movies are shot out of chronological order.
I literally just talked about it in this last class, that scenes are literally shot like not in chronological order. Like how you see a movie, it's not shot that way.
Yeah.
Like if you have 5 different scenes in the same place, those are all shot first, and then they shoot all the other scenes.
Yeah, I love listening to you learn about this stuff too. This is stuff that I've been studying for a long time, just throughout my life, and now that you're going to a class for it, it's really, really cool.
I honestly love it. It's great.
It's really
I'm
cool.
I'm actually really enjoying myself with this class. It's some amazing stuff, and because not only that, I'm learning with this class. We're going to learn about every single department in the film industry: the grip, the sound design, the editing, the people who build the setups for the specific scenes. Like I think I told you that the entrance of the Grand Budapest Hotel movie that set is literally in the studio that I'm studying at. They literally have it there. Yeah. Like they have the entrance for the hotel there. It's sick.
Well, it all makes me excited for you to get your analysis on Drive, which we're going to be doing here really, really soon. And that's a great movie. It's a very artsy movie with a lot of amazing filmmaking involved that was marketed as an action movie, pissed a lot of people off. So if you guys out there aren't familiar with it, that's kind of what we're looking at. But speaking of action movies, let's start to get into this discussion on action movies. It was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
one of the better ones I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna be talking about action movies. We're just gonna have a conversation, man. Like I think we both put together a list.
I was gonna say a couple of questions. First, how many movies do you have on your list?
A ton, and that's fine. We can.
I was gonna say, because I've got like 20.
We can go until the 1 hour, and then we'll take our news break.
It was kind of weird. I don't know. I don't want to say weird, but like almost a little bit hard to kind of figure out like what really was an action movie. So what I just did is I just typed in action movies. I went to the IMDb's
I thought about that too.
top 50 action movies and literally just went through and decided like which ones I've seen and which ones I really enjoyed action wise. Because I know
Yeah.
some of these action movies have other aspects like maybe sci-fi or
That's
drama
what
or
I
just
always think about when we
so
think about this. I agree
yeah.
with you, but I think like if you watch it and you go, that had amazing action, I would say it's probably categorized
And
as
that's
an
and that's
action movie.
and all these movies that I've listed have action that I really enjoyed, but are almost categorized with other genres as well, but
Yeah.
have action in them. So
Yeah. So these will be in no particular order, folks, and we're just
oh
gonna
no,
kind
definitely
of
not. No,
run through and just have fun.
I just wrote down 20 and then just in no order,
Yeah.
but I just wrote down 20 and that was it really. So
Yeah, and we'll go to the 1 hour and then we'll take a news break and then we'll revisit it after if we have time. So
okay,
yeah, that's
sure.
kind of what we're gonna look. That's what we're looking at right now. So for me, I'm gonna pull up one that was a recent. It might be on your list.
Oh,
but
I was about to say, I think because I was gonna say that I think not a lot, but there's definitely going to be some on these lists that we both have.
yeah, I want to get the recency bias out of the way with these because then there are so many classics we have to talk about. I feel like so I wanted to really.
And I've got some classics written down here too, just to let you know.
Oh,
you should. Because I didn't want to have just recent ones on here. I wanted to get some of the classics too. So
you should. So to get recency bias out of the way, I guess let's talk about one that it just impressed me somewhat recently. Baby Driver, I think, is one.
Hey, that was on my
list.
list.
On your list, yeah. Baby Driver,
dude. The action in that movie was phenomenal. I loved it.
Hands down, one of the best action movies in my opinion. And
no other than Edgar Wright, of course.
Edgar Wright,
my guy, Edgar Wright, the guy that I got to meet. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it was really like he has action in his movies, but that was like his real first attempt at like a straight action, and to me, just knocked it out of the park. And it made a lot of sense when you watched the action he incorporated into his comedies prior.
Right. Yeah.
It started to come together for me where it was like, yeah, this guy, I think he was actually he tries something new every time in a way, but I think he was genuinely made for action, honestly.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that makes all of his movies great is he knows how to shoot action.
I feel like he's also kind of made for that psychological thriller horror type because the Last Night in Soho was
absolutely
phenomenal. Yeah,
yeah,
great.
That's what I mean. It's like you think that, and then you see Soho, and you're like, oh, he's got so much more in him. But
oh yeah,
but Baby Driver, when that came out, that was like Edgar Wright reborn. You know, because he just finished The World's End, which was the last of his comedies, and you were like, what was he gonna do after that? And then when Baby Driver came out, you were like, oh my god, this is stunning.
You're like, bro, is there anything he can't do?
It's almost a perfect movie. I think about it all the time, and the soundtrack to the shots are just it's unreal. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
I love Baby Driver so much.
Yeah.
But what was one you had?
Well, recency bias, but I did put here the Kingsman, the first one.
I loved Kingsman. Now Kingsman,
yeah.
What's great about it is it revolutionized action movies in a way, I think, because it found a perfect balance of the comedy and the action, and I think the MCU has taken a lot of what Kingsman did and put it into their own films in a way. Now the MCU's become a lot more experimental, but I feel like without Kingsman, it revolutionized comic book movies in a way, like because you look at that balance that it struck with the comedy and the action, and it was a perfect balance. It really was. Like it's
for sure.
That's the example of a perfect.
It's a comedic action movie, and it's like you said, it's a perfect balance of both.
While acting as a spy thriller too, so that really was
exactly
insane, and the way they use the blood and the gore in there.
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
there's no Deadpool without Kingsman. I'll tell you that. Deadpool doesn't really.
Yeah, that's true.
Appeal as much, I don't think, without Kingsman, but that's based on a Mark.
Which that's another good action movie.
Well, yeah, but that's based on a Mark Millar comic, which is a good segue for me because I'm throwing in Kick-Ass, which I don't think you've seen all the way through yet. But
no, I haven't.
That Kick-Ass 1 and 2, I'll just couple them because Kick-Ass was so good when it came out. That was Matthew Vaughn directed that, who also ended up directing X-Men First Class after that, which I think he did a great job with. But Kick-Ass was like, wow, when that came out, because the trailers did not market the movie right. And the people that saw that movie were like, this is movie of the year. And it really felt like that. The same way I think Kingsman did in a lot of ways. That felt like movie of the year. And the Mark Millar comic verse that they were adapting into film really felt like it was going to take over until, unfortunately, Kick-Ass 2 came out and didn't get received as well. Although I think it's almost on par with the first. I don't know why people don't like it as much. I think Kick-Ass 2, even though it was directed by Jeff Wadlow, who's funny enough, I don't think is that good of a director in general, but I thought he did great with Kick-Ass 2. And what he did with, you got to see Kick-Ass 2, man. What he did with Jim Carrey in that movie was awesome. And it's one of Jim Carrey's best roles, even though he will never talk about it because of the violence in the film. He doesn't want to support the gun violence, I guess, but he feels like it kind of glorifies it. And I kind of understand that point, but on the same hand, I think those are two just really different from one another type action movies, but both really went for the action. So those are two that I would definitely bring up and, definitely recommend to people if you haven't seen them. I think that, and Chloe Grace Moretz, Kick-Ass introduced us to her, and she's magnificent. She's kind of gone on to have such a great career, honestly, like depending on the movie, but for the most part, she's a gem of an actress. She's very good in the
honestly, I was gonna say, because there's a one, what's it called? Oh, what's that one where she like was kidnapped by like this
Greta was
yes.
Really good.
Oh, dude, Greta was I loved that movie so much. That was one of my favorite roles from her. Honestly,
that was a very mature role for her. Great script, and that was a perfect script for her. Absolutely.
That's what I mean. Like, she just killed that, man. It was great.
I really like Greta. You're right. And so without Kick-Ass, we don't have the Chloe Grace Moretz Renaissance. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
And it was really a nice time because she was coming out in a lot because she got hired for like Let Me In, and then she did the Carrie remake, which I actually am a fan of both of those movies. And If I Stay is an underrated one I've talked to you about that she did.
Oh,
she got a lot of roles after that, and I think again she's a gem of an actress. I still don't think we've seen her full potential yet, but I think that without Kick-Ass we wouldn't have had that. And then also Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's gone on to have a great career, ended up being Pietro in Avengers, and he's a really good actor, man. He's going to be a Bullet Train coming up here. He's done some incredible work, so that's another thing that Kick-Ass introduced us to. But yeah, what's another one for you? I don't want to ramble on about it.
Well, this one was very, very action heavy, and I loved it so much. No Time to Die.
No Time to Die is a really good action movie.
Really good.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Leads, I'm not dissing that it's on your list because it has incredible action in it a lot of the time. It does lean a little bit more spy thriller to me that I wouldn't have put it as action. But hey, I don't disagree with that pick because the action in that is probably in terms of the way the action's done in that, it's the best of the Bond franchise.
Yeah.
Honestly, action-wise, it is the best of the Bond. If you're looking for the best Bond action movie, it's No Time to Die.
Yeah, that's why I put it on there, because just the action that was used in that movie was just amazing. When I went to go watch in the theaters, man, I was like, man, this is some amazing action.
Yeah, between that and Casino Royale are the best Bond action films. So I don't disagree with that being on your list. I think that's a wonderful pick. And I love No Time to Die. I can't wait to watch it again. I haven't since that first time. I own it.
Neither.
I need to pop it back in.
I haven't seen it since I went to go watch in the theaters, but I just can't wait to watch it again because man, that was great.
It had great action and more than I thought a Bond movie would. So I understand why that made your list for sure. So another one I got to talk about, easily one of the biggest, most recent franchises, and it's still going for action anyway. It's definitely John Wick. John Wick has been it's been huge.
Of course.
It got Keanu Reeves back on the map, and people love Keanu now. And so when I saw John Wick the first time, it's kind of a funny story. I was half asleep, and I just wasn't really into it for whatever reason. I hate the movie. Wasn't really into it. But I saw John Wick 2 and thought it was actually substantially better than the first. And then I went back and rewatched the first and thought the first was substantially better than 2. So it kind of goes, and then the third one is my favorite. So all three John Wicks have been great, and we are getting John Wick Chapter 4. So that's another one I would throw out there as well. Anyway, what's another one of yours?
Well, this is one that I have seen so many times in my life that every single time I watch it, I just love it even more. Every single time I watch it, the action in this movie, even though it's not in it a lot, the action in it is really cool. Is the first Avatar movie.
Avatar is good. Yeah, I would have leaned sci-fi with that, but
yeah, it's like a sci-fi action.
It's got really good action in it. So I'm not gonna. Again, it's another one of those things. I'm not gonna disregard it on your list because it does have great action in it. As far as, well, James Cameron's a great action director. I got a couple Camerons on mine too, but we'll get into that. But it's great, dude. I
think I know one of the ones that's on your list from him. I
got a couple on there, but you're right, dude. Avatar, when I saw that movie for the first time, it was like, I was so pumped. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because
for sure.
When it's high adrenaline action, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because the stakes are so high.
For sure.
And that's, we always got to talk about that. What makes an action movie so good is the stakes, typically.
And there's always a lot of stakes in that one.
Always the meaning behind the action. And that's one of those with a lot of stakes. You're not wrong about that. So it works.
Which is why I'm even more excited for the second one, because just from the trailer alone, it seems like this one's going to be a lot more action than sci-fi, honestly, because
it did look like it had a lot.
Yeah, it looks like this one's going to be it's going to be more action heavy than the first one, for sure.
Well, I think the reason the first one's less action heavy, because James Cameron is primarily an action director, except for Titanic, maybe, and The Abyss is complete sci-fi. He's primarily an action director, and I think the reason the first one is a little bit more sci-fi is because they had to build the world. And that that's
what I was gonna say. Is this is a whole new concept that he was introducing to the film universe, and he had to like build up all the characters and the story and the worlds for this idea.
Yeah.
So he still has 4 other movies that are gonna come out.
Otherwise,
this first one,
it is a complete action movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, right? So
yeah. Which is why I think the second one's going to be a lot more action. I mean, there's still going to be some kind of world building and storytelling because it is a whole new world we're going to with new characters and stuff. But I definitely do think it's going to have a lot more action.
Yeah, for sure.
Than the last one. Yeah.
Last one, recency bias. Anyway, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
You know what's funny is I had that one too.
Yeah, incredible.
Oh man,
movie.
The action, like literally the entire movie has action, and man, the action in like the bus scene alone with Shang-Chi and those guys that are trying to take the necklace from him, and just that scene alone, man, was just some incredible action. It was some amazing. Yeah,
that is great. As far as Marvel movies go, it's
the best action probably.
It's probably the purest action movie they have, honestly,
for sure.
Because it is just straight action for the most part.
For sure.
So I would have to say that's definitely one on the list for
sure.
Recency bias out of the way. The rest of mine, I'm going to take you back a bit. So what's another one you got?
Well, sticking with Marvel, Captain America: Civil War.
Yes, I love Captain America Civil War.
Now the action in that, I mean, obviously the fight scene between Team Captain America and Team Iron Man, like just that scene alone, the action there.
Yeah.
But I mean the action throughout the entire movie was just great. Like when Black Panther was chasing Bucky and Captain America.
Yeah.
I mean that was all the action in this was just great. The fight between Captain America, Bucky, and Iron Man, like that scene alone too. Like there's just so much great action in this movie, honestly.
When I look at the difference between Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War, I'm looking at, which I like Winter Soldier just a tad bit better, not much, but a tad bit better. Winter Soldier to me it leans more political thriller, and then Civil War still keeps the political thriller elements. It carries that forward, but into a straightforward action movie for the most part.
Yeah.
So I really love that one as well. I think that really works for that list 100%. So that's really good. So taking you back a bit here, I'm going to go with another Marvel one. Iron Man. The first Iron Man, dude, is an incredible action movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That is actually, before Shang-Chi, that was the purest action movie, in my opinion, because that's fair. What it's going for. It's just straight action, and it's wonderful, dude. And Jon Favreau showing that he can do action was really cool with that movie, and just showing how great of a director he actually is, in my opinion. found his brand, in my opinion, Jon Favreau, with that. I think a lot of the elements from Iron Man have been carried forward into Mandalorian quite a bit. So I think that was really where Jon Favreau found what his brand was going to be as a filmmaker. And so Iron Man definitely has to go on the list. I think that it's
For sure.
phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, another one on my list. I have the Suicide Squad.
Yes. That's a recent one I hadn't thought of for whatever reason. Maybe
that one's
more comedy on that, but it's a great action
it's got both. It's got comedy and action, and
it's
one of
just
those,
as much an action movie as it is a comedy. You're right.
It's another one of those that kind of meshes both of them together. It's like almost a perfect mesh of comedy and action.
It is.
Yeah, it's because obviously you still have the comedy effect of, you know, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and John Cena's Peacemaker and all those other characters, but the action in it too is just obviously it's obviously going to be there because it's a bunch of villains, and there's always going to be action when you have villains.
Yeah,
so
it's a straight action movie. It's every moment of that there's action almost. So you're not wrong. I'm putting it on the list. I'm so mad I didn't put that on mine because it's like
it's a good thing that I put it on mine.
It just seems like, now that you say it seems like low-hanging fruit. It's such an obvious one to pick, and honestly, it is that good. It has action that blows my mind every time I watch it. So you're right, man. I love the Suicide Squad. That is a phenomenal action movie, and just James Gunn really showing what he can do. That's he took the elements of Guardians of the Galaxy, and
I'm ready for his third one too. I can't wait to see what his third Guardians of the Galaxy
I know, because I think he's learned so much more, but he took the elements of his Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he took elements from like his movie Super, and he meshed the two things together and made the Suicide
Squad. Yeah,
and it's great. It is unbelievable. It's one of the better recent ones I can think of, so that's a great pick, man.
I feel like I have a lot more recent ones than you on here. I don't know why, but it just do. Yeah,
probably. So I'll go back a little bit more here. So when we watched recently, Top Gun is one of the best of all time.
Oh, you see, the first one, because you know what's funny is I have the second one on here.
Yeah, well, we could couple those together because
I was about to say, because I got the second one on here.
Yeah, they're both. The second one's actually a better action movie than the first.
Oh yeah. That's why I put the second one on here, because I was sitting thinking, oh my god, man, Top Gun Maverick, the action in that was fucking amazing, man.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't pick Maverick for my list is because it's so recent, but honestly it is a better movie all in all than the first one.
I mean, it's already like over $600 million globally box office. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
The movie is just that good, honestly.
It really is, dude.
It's gonna get nominated for an Oscar for sure. I think it's gonna be best picture, honestly.
I do too. I think Tom Cruise should absolutely get nominated for Top Gun.
Oh yeah, and I think he should win both, if I'm being honest. Like, he should win Best Actor.
Year's not over, but
yeah. I mean, we still got a lot to go.
Plenty to go. Yeah.
So far from what I've seen, like, this movie is it's incredible, man. I loved it.
Very good, very amazing movie. It's my second favorite of the year, so I'm sticking with that.
Which was your first?
Batman. The Batman.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm still kind of tossing between the Batman and they're just two completely different movies.
They are.
It's hard to choose.
I still think I'm more in awe of the Batman. I think for the Batman being the 3-hour movie that it is, I think I'm just so much more in awe of that.
That's
and
fair.
The fact that it was paced as well as it was and just as perfect as it was. I mean, it's an actual masterpiece, the Batman, I think. So I'm blown away by that every time I watch it. But yeah, I'm sorry. So I did Top Gun. You can go ahead and
Top Gun, man. I mean, obviously it's almost the same as the second one, just the story is a little different. So doesn't really have as much action, but I feel like that's because that's how the story was written for the first one compared to the story for this second one. But the action in the first one still, either way, I loved it so much. It was emotional at times too, just like in the second one. I mean, the action, it might be action, but it can still get you emotional. And I mean, the first one did it, man.
100%.
It was great. It was, I mean, like the scene where Goose dies. I mean, man.
Yeah.
That's some emotional stuff, man.
I mean, the iconicism of just Danger Zone and how pumped that gets you when you start the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Top Gun is amazing.
Oh, when they did that in Top Gun Maverick, when they started playing Danger Zone, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
I got one more recent one I'm going to add, but you can go on with your next one.
Well, I mean, funny enough, actually, another one that I have on here for action is The Batman.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I was gonna see. I don't know if I personally consider this is the first time I'm gonna challenge you on that. Look, if you consider it an action movie, by all means.
I mean, if you look
it
it up on the internet, it's categorized as
that's
action.
so interesting to me because to me that's more drama.
Look, it's literally on here on the internet. If you look it up, it's considered as action/adventure.
Interesting.
So that's why I put it as an action movie.
I look at it. That's fine if they categorize it that way.
I mean, the action in the film, I really enjoy it.
It has action. I just don't think it has like enough to really categorize it as an action movie, but it has good action in it. Like the action in there is amazing. It's some of the best I've seen. But the overall, I still look at it as a drama for me. Like I don't look at it as an action movie. I think it's really a character piece more than it is an action movie. You know what I mean? So like I always kind of looked at it as a drama. It's kind of like, and you'll see tomorrow with Drive. I like Drive. Maybe some people would consider action. I still consider it a drama. All in all, it's more of a character piece, but that's interesting. Okay, look, if the internet categorizes it as that, I mean, I'm not going to challenge you. And if you consider it an action movie in your heart, I'll let you have it. But that's, yeah, man, it has great action in it. I'm not going to take that away. The Batmobile scene is unbelievable. It's, I mean,
him taking down all those robbers too. That was yeah, that's what I mean. Like the action in the movie itself.
You're not wrong.
Great stuff, man.
It has great action in it. It's just the scenes of action are few and far between when I look at it. But when it happens, it happens. So I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you for that. For sure. So you had the Batman. All right. So I'm going to go with my other recent one that I just added because talking about Top Gun, how can I forget this? Because when I saw this was like mind blowing. Mission Impossible Fallout has to be in that.
The newest one, right?
Yeah. To me, that has to.
Is that the one where he was hanging off a plane?
Yes, helicopter.
Yeah. Where he was actually hanging off of it with no harness or anything. Like he's ridiculous, man. This dude he's crazy. Tom Cruise is crazy.
When you see the stunts in Mission Impossible Fallout,
that's what I mean. Like he actually does them too. Like I don't know how this dude isn't like feeling old and like feeling like he can't do what he does, but he just does it anyways.
Yeah,
he's an adrenaline junkie.
When I saw that, and that was 2018. I was like, it was my second favorite movie I had it ranked of 2018. And just because I knew from the second the skydiving scene happened, that was going to be my second favorite movie of 2018, because I was like, I've just never seen anything like this pulled off on film. That movie, high adrenaline, just action all the way through. Unbelievable. The fight with him and Henry Cavill is awesome in the bathroom. That is one of the coolest fist fights I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to throw that on there, but yeah, go ahead with your pick.
Well, another one. This one's not as recent, but it's still more recent than some of the obviously the older films like Top Gun and stuff. But Fast and Furious 7 is one that I've got on here.
Fast and Furious 7 is really damn good, man. I'm not gonna take that one away from you. It's a definite action movie, all in all or through and through. I love that one, man. Furious 7 is so good.
I just hold it so close to my heart too, because it's the one where they did that in remembrance of Paul Walker thing at the end, man. Like, man, that's just I'll just never forget that movie. And yeah, like you said, I mean, really technically in every single Fast and Furious movie there is action, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know why just the Fast and Furious 7 is just one that I hold a lot closer to me in terms of action, just because of how much there is in there.
Yeah. Well, when I heard about James Wan doing that, it was wild because I hold Conjuring 1 and 2 so close to my heart. I love those movies. I think they're some of the better recent horror movies. And so I've admired James Wan for a long time. I thought Insidious was really good in his first.
Yeah, fuck that too.
The first Saw movie. Which
fuck
did.
That as well. Yeah,
but
fuck all those films.
But when I heard he was doing Furious 7, I was like, he's doing what? And then I see the movie, and oh my God, he proved that he can do action. Because he is so talented, man. He is so talented. And really brought the same heart that he brings to The Conjuring into that as well with the Paul Walker stuff. So when I saw that, I was blown away. And then, now you got the guy doing Aquaman, so he's so good at what he does.
That's funny because I have Aquaman on my list too.
Yeah, another James Wan hit, man. It's a really good action flick.
That's another action movie I had on my list too. Yeah, man, the action in that movie is great.
Yeah. You have Jason Momoa giving his first big leading role in a movie and killing it, and then She Who Must Not Be Named alongside him.
Yep.
It was a really great film, dude, and visually incredible. James Wan just proved what he can do even further just on the visuals side too, which was amazing. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, we were talking about, if I can go back really quick, Furious 7. I think Fast 5 needs to be in the conversation too. Fast 5 is
Oh,
actually my favorite one
oh,
personally, but
100. Yeah, honestly, yeah, like those two, 5 and 7 are the
5 and
ones that
7
I.
are the best two. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They're literally the best of the 9 movies that they've
Yeah,
come out with.
but yeah. Fast 5 has to be on the list of the
Yeah,
best
for
of all
sure.
time because I love Fast 5. I can watch
Oh,
that
same.
a lot. Yeah,
I've seen it at least like 6 times in my life already. Like it's great.
for sure, dude. It's so good, man. It's my favorite of the franchise. So always go back to that one. So you talked about Aquaman, you talked about Furious 7. Let me go way back again. And we got to talk about what I think is still considered by a lot of people the greatest action movie of all time,
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Die Hard.
Oh, you know what? That was on my list as well.
Die Hard is
Dude, Die Hard.
unbelievable.
Honestly, man, Bruce Willis, man, that's probably one of my favorite movies from him, man. That like Die Hard is just a classic, man.
Creating this iconic character in John McClane, and
Yep.
then you have one of the best movie villains of all time and Alan Rickman's Hans Gruber, and just this simple man doing these incredible things. You know what I mean? Like he really is, at the end of the day, he's kind of the simple man just put in a situation.
Yep.
And it just really, really worked. I think that was the first time they really took that like simple man concept. Like it's the first, without Die Hard, there's no John Wick, right? Like, or there's no Nobody, which is another great action movie.
There's just no action movies really without Die Hard.
Do you need Die Hard to have happened to make everything else work? I
of
really
course
feel that way. So Die Hard's definitely absolutely on the list.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll throw it back too then. Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. All right. I love Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover, Mel Gibson.
Yep.
I'm
great.
getting too old for this shit. One of the most iconic lines of all time.
Exactly.
Who doesn't love Lethal Weapon, man? It's so good.
Like, you know what's funny is actually my parents were the ones that showed me Lethal Weapon for the first time that I watched it. I was at their place. No, this is actually when we used to live in Columbus in the same house. And my parents were like, "Hey, have you ever seen Lethal Weapon?" I was like, "Nah." And we pulled it up on the TV and started watching it. Man, I just love Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
And they're still making another one, supposedly. So we'll see how that goes. And apparently it's been in talks for a long time. So I'm stoked for that. I hope they bring it back to what that first movie was.
I just remembered of another movie that I need to add to my list.
All right. I'm going to jump off your Lethal Weapon trend, though, with the buddy cop movies. And I'm going to go and talk. I'm going to go ahead. And I'm going to talk about Stakeout. Stakeout is one of the best action movies out there.
Dude, man. Hey, Richard Dreyfuss again, man. I preferred the first one to the second one, obviously.
Definitely the first one's the best.
Yeah. Oh, and man, that first Stakeout movie, man, is a great movie.
Second movie, what's great about the first movie? The second movie leans so comedy that it's barely an action movie. The first movie, it knew how to be an action movie through and through. Like,
for sure.
It has the comedy on top of it. It's an action movie that just adds a little bit of, it peppers in comedy. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
And great comedy at that. It's Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez killing it.
Oh yeah.
And watching freaking those car chase scenes in there are awesome.
Oh yeah, great.
And they're all done practically, and there's a look to that you don't get a lot anymore. And I love Stakeout so much, dude. It's so good. It's a good story. I think that Stakeout needs to be in the conversation of
for sure. Of course, it's a comedy action. It's great.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Another one of mine is bringing it back again is the Italian Job.
Italian Job, Mark Wahlberg. You know, that's a underrated flick. Not a lot of people talk about. Yeah.
So that's another one that my parents showed me too when we used to live in Columbus. Was like, "You ever seen the Italian Job?" And I said no. And coincidentally enough, it was playing on the TV on one of the cable channels. my parents were like, "Hey, come and watch this, see if you like it." And man,
Yeah.
Italian Job, that's a great one.
Mark
Honestly.
Wahlberg, Jason Statham. It's got a great
Yep.
cast. And,
Oh yeah,
and that really works for that movie. Honestly, Italian Job is really good, dude. And
it is. Yeah.
it's a really fast-paced, nice movie. It really is.
Mhm.
It just, to me, the pacing is what makes Italian Job work. It's one of
Yeah.
those movies that just has it struck the perfect pace. Like, honestly, it has the pace of Die Hard. Just, it's not as good as Die Hard, but it has the pace of Die Hard to me when I watch that. And so yeah, it's a great one, dude. That's a great pick that I don't know that a lot of people would have brought up, to be honest, and I'm glad you did.
That's what I'm here for.
So I'm going to talk about one that actually I'm going to just put all these together for the most part, because there's 5 in the franchise and 4 of them are fantastic in my opinion. So
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Rambo.
Oh, okay. No, that's
Well,
not the one I thought you were gonna say, but
starting with First Blood, because First Blood, while that one leans a little bit more drama, has great action in it. It is mostly an action movie, but it leans very drama, especially when you get to the third act of that movie and you start to really dive into his PTSD and all that. And that movie's amazing.
yeah,
Rambo 2.
movies. Oh, Rambo movies are they're great.
Rambo 2, straight action movie. And like, that's where the franchise really found out what it was going to be. And I know critics hate on them, and I know why, because they're ridiculous by the time you get to part 2. But Rambo 2 is one of my favorite action movies.
The Rambo movies are also another set of movies that my parents showed me.
Yeah.
More specifically, my dad, because my mom wasn't really huge on Rambo, but yeah, my dad showed me the Rambo movies, and yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I love, and oh my gosh, the movie Rambo, the 4th one, that's just called Rambo, is so brutal and unbelievable.
I think
that's
the one that my parents showed me more recently.
Yeah,
was that one? And man, yeah, it's brutal, very brutal.
It's Stallone is just, he hones the role, he knows what it is.
That's actually
he understands it.
That's actually the one that my mom really enjoys from the Rambo ones. Is that one?
Yeah, when you get to the 4th movie, like, it just understands what the audience and the fans of Rambo want. And Rambo First Blood, the 5th one, the recent one that came out, is no exception to that. Just really knows what the audience wants. We're all going to Rambo now for the last 20 minutes of the movie when he's just shooting motherfuckers left and right. That's the reason you see Rambo. They know what they are. I love Rambo so much. I can watch those all day. Make 5 more with Stallone. I'll watch them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Another one I have on mine are the Bourne movies.
Bourne, interesting. Yeah. So believe it or not, I never saw the most recent Bourne.
I watched it in the theaters when it came out for the first time, and oh my gosh, man, the action.
Is it good? Because I hear mixed things.
I really enjoyed the action in that movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not my favorite of the 5. Obviously, I prefer like Bourne Identity or like Bourne Ultimatum. You know, one of those like
Bourne Identity is the the best.
That's the first one too, and that's by far the best one. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy the action in the 5th one. It's not my favorite of the 5, but it's still like a really good watch. And yeah, I mean, the action in the Bourne movies, I mean, Matt Damon just really outperformed himself, man. He gives a really good performance in those movies, man.
Might be the only role that he's come back to revisit time and time again, but that's just because nobody else can play that character. Honestly, that's really what it comes down to.
Matt Damon knows that. Matt Damon is Jason Bourne. I mean,
he knows that, and I like that. It is that association with Stallone and Rambo. Stallone knows nobody else could be Rambo.
Yeah, and Matt Damon knows. Yeah, he knows that no one else can be Jason Bourne.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it doesn't matter what you're making, I have to be Jason Bourne. Like, that's kind of the attitude, and I love that for him, because it's always great when you can come up with a role like that that's just so attached to the actor. You know what I mean? And the Bourne movies are no exception to that rule, where Matt Damon will come back time and time again to play him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back one more time. Depending on how the 5th one ended, I haven't seen it, but we'll see. I think
there's definitely a setup for another one. I just don't think that it's been in the talks. Yeah. But who knows? It could.
I think it would, because it made money. I think they all made pretty decent money, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I don't know how much the newest one made, but I could definitely see
It'll probably happen.
from how the fifth one ended, I can definitely see a third one happening for sure. Just
It'll
because
probably happen then. I mean, because yeah, I think they all made pretty good money except for that one that he wasn't in.
yeah, the newest one made 415 million.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you remember the one with Jeremy Renner where it wasn't Matt Damon. There was one with Jeremy Renner.
wait, of the 5 movies, he wasn't in one of them.
Yeah, the
What?
fourth one. Yeah, he wasn't in the fourth.
What the hell? And I'm guessing that's the one that didn't make as much as the other ones, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think that was the only one that ever tanked. But I think when he came back, it made money again. So
I think I know which one you're talking about. It's the one that only made 200 million. All the other ones made over 400 million, but the one that he wasn't in only made 200 million. I think, and that's probably the reason why it didn't make as much, is because it wasn't Matt Damon. So
well, I'll talk about a franchise that it's funny, kind of almost works very parallel with that in somewhat of the same way as the Terminator franchise. So,
which I knew was going to be on your list because you said you had other Cameron films on there, and that one did.
More specifically, Terminator 2 is the one that I highlight.
Which is James Cameron, which I knew when you said that you had more Cameron films on there, I knew that Terminator 2 was going to be on there.
Yeah, the first 2 are Cameron, and I think that 2 is just one of the best action movies of all time. When you watch the first one, I know a lot of people put the first one. I mean,
come on now, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come on now.
Well, I know a lot of people put that first one on their list, but to me, I don't do it because it's an amazing movie, but it leans more horror sci-fi to me, the first movie, as opposed to
that's fair.
The second movie is one of the best action movies ever made. I actually put that one above Die Hard. There's not a whole lot in terms of action movies that I put above Die Hard, but Terminator 2 I definitely put above Die Hard. And then unfortunately I like Terminator 3. I just think it's good, not great. And then the fourth movie was the one with Christian Bale, Terminator Salvation, and it flopped. And then the fifth movie was Genesis, and so basically what they did is they took 3, 4, and 5 out of canon. They pulled a Halloween, took 3, 4, 5 out of canon, then they made Dark Fate. And Dark Fate, I thought, was really, really good. A lot of people kind of sleeping on that one. I think that's also a very good action movie. Doesn't hold a candle to Terminator 2. I'm not trying to say that, but I thought Dark Fate was a really good, entertaining Terminator movie. It kind of brought it back for me quite a bit, but a lot of people disagree. I respect that. I understand it's because of the choice made in the first 5 minutes of that movie. Killing the young John Connor, people were not on board with, but I love Terminator 2. I put that in high regard. I love that movie. And Terminator 1 I hold in high regard too. I just again, not an action movie to me. To me, it leans sci-fi horror, and I think people misclassify that movie in action, and it's really not. It has action in it, but when you compare Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, it's night and day to me. But they're both great. Yeah. Go ahead.
Next, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home is a great action movie.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. I was hoping that was going to be on your list.
There's just action throughout the entire movie, really. Like, I mean, obviously the most action happens at the towards the end.
Yeah.
With the big fight, but like really throughout the entire, like when Doc Ock first shows up, Green Goblin.
It's an action movie.
100%. Yeah. It's a sci-fi action movie. Yeah. I mean, and man, the action in the movie is just incredible, man. I mean, John Watts just really knew how to end the trilogy, man.
Yeah, John Watts. Okay, like let me point this out about that, because when I saw the way that that was John Watts showing his full potential, what he could do with action, and I was impressed as hell.
Oh, same.
It's the best, honestly. It's the best we've seen Spidey in live action in terms of action. Not the best Spider-Man movie, but in terms of the action shots, it is the best we've seen Spidey in live action. And John Watts was able to do that, and I was so blown away and impressed. Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. I'm so glad it's on your list. Yeah, it didn't quite make mine of the best of all, or my favorites of all time, but it's in there, man. I really love. It's an honorable mention for me. I mean, for sure, I love Spider-Man No Way Home. It is. Yeah,
I've noticed. I've gone for more newer ones. You've gone for the more like older ones. That's what I've noticed on here.
Yeah, I feel like we have to highlight the olds, man. The classics that made.
Well, see, that's what you're here for. You're here for the older ones. I'm here for the newer ones.
Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. I again, like I said, No Way Home is a definite honorable mention, and mainly because of just what it is as a movie in general. You know, because when you look at the whole package, of course it is. excuse me,
Yeah.
of course it has to be one of your favorites because the whole package is amazing, dude. It's
Oh
Tobey
yeah.
Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland
Tom Holland.
together.
It's
the
the
Spideys
trio.
together
It's the Spidey trio.
in one epic action movie, and that's unbelievable. You're not wrong about that. It's crazy how it just meshes the action, and it's so much. It's also a character piece just as much, and I love that about it. It really is an examination of Peter Parker just as much as it is an action movie. It is the most. It's the biggest examination of Peter Parker that I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So, man, I love that that's on your list. I'll go ahead and name another Cameron. Aliens is
I
going
knew
on
that.
the list.
I knew that was gonna be the other one, man. I just
Look,
knew it.
What Aliens did is unprecedented. When you think about what it's really coming off of, it's coming off Ridley Scott's straight sci-fi horror Alien. And it's a sequel to that, and except the sequel's an action movie. That's the difference. And I love that Cameron took the risk of doing that. And to me, it really paid off. It still held in such high regard. The fact that he made the sequel to Ridley Scott's Alien an action movie, just wanted to do something completely different with it. While I like Alien better as a movie, not an action movie, sci-fi horror, Aliens is one of the best action movies of all time. It's so much fun to watch. It's amazing.
Yeah, I still refuse to watch any Alien or Predator movies because I feel like I'm gonna have nightmares.
I think you'd love Aliens because it's an action movie. It's not a horror.
Which is why I also refused to watch Prometheus because I saw the trailer and had nightmares.
Well, that's Ridley Scott going back to the roots. So yeah.
So fuck that.
Yeah, that's a horror movie. Yeah, no, but Aliens you would love because it's an action movie. You know what I mean? So I think you need to see Aliens because it's so good. If you love Avatar, you're gonna love Aliens even more, I think, because it's so much. That was him kind of laying the foundation of what eventually became Avatar. Was Alien, and when you watch the movie, it makes so much sense of where Avatar came from. You know, it's very much in the vein of Cameron. So for sure, Aliens has to go on the list, 100%. But yeah, look, we are at the 1 hour, so I'm gonna let you take one more, and then we'll head into the news.
This one's I put the newest Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, on there for action.
I like that.
I just really enjoyed I just feel like it had more per se wand action compared to the other two.
It has the best wand action I've ever seen in Harry
Potter.
And
that's why this third one is on here and not the other two, because just the amount of wand action in this movie and just the greatness of the wand action from this movie, I just really enjoyed so much, man. Especially the stuff with Dumbledore and Grindelwald, man.
Yeah.
It was some incredible stuff, honestly.
My favorite is the first of the Beast franchise of the three, but that is a drama, not an action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That is definitely a drama.
That's why the third one is in this list and not the other two, because the action in this third one, it has more action than the other two.
But when you could see this kind of leaning more action, then Harry Potter was slightly more fantasy than it was action. And when you start to see the pieces of how it kind of built into this action romp with Fantastic Beasts 3, it almost kind of, you can kind of gain a bit more appreciation for the last two once you see where they're kind of
100%. Yeah, but that's why the third one's on my list, because it's more action than
man.
The others. But yeah,
I love the action in that. I was so blown away when that third act came up, and
bro, when the spell broke and everything, man, that was
everything was so good there.
Dude,
yeah, I just never thought I'd see that on screen as a Harry Potter fan, and if there's one thing that movie blessed me with, it was that, which is why I gave it a good review.
Let me just and I'm gonna just say too that I told you too, I was skeptical about watching these three because I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I mean I do like Harry Potter, just not as much as like Star Wars per se or stuff like that. But man, these Fantastic Beasts movies, man, they really surprised me. There were some really good films, honestly.
Yeah. I still have a strong dislike for the second one, but
don't get me wrong too. I do too, but just watching because I watched these three movies very like one after the other, and being able to do that and seeing how the first, second, and third kind of just all meshed together as like one big story.
It was nice once you saw the third.
It was it was very nice.
The third brought it back, man. I'm not gonna lie. The third it did. It brought it right back around and gave me kind of where I would have liked to have seen it gone in the second one, maybe a little bit more, but hey, whatever.
I just out. I mean, he who should not be named. I just can't see him the same way anymore.
I
Honestly,
understand. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
It's great. It's great
Especially,
stuff.
especially with what's happened with him recently.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which,
absolutely.
yeah.
That was the story. Look, all right, guys, we're gonna take a news break here, and then we'll kind of wrap it back around into this conversation because this is a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys are joining for this. And please comment below and let us know some of your favorite action movies for sure. But we are gonna start with this big story. This is a major one. Joker 2 is confirmed. Todd Phillips himself has confirmed Joker 2 is coming back with Joaquin Phoenix. Look, guys, Joker is my favorite comic book film to date, and it hasn't been top since. The Batman came really close, but Joker's still my favorite comic book film to date. I've never seen a comic book film take a risk the way that Joker did to become a character study the way it did.
It's a good thing they did, though.
And it's incredible.
It literally is still to this day my favorite. Like, I just can't see anything really topping this movie because, man, Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker in this movie was just something that I've never seen before. I just loved it so much, man. The appreciation I hold for this movie it's incredible, man. I loved it so much. I'm not surprised that Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor that year for that movie. Man,
absolutely, we have to mention that.
Oh man, he just absolutely killed the role, man, and I can't wait to see what he brings for the second one, which, by the way, has had a title confirmed for it, and I think it's in French, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but yeah, man, I just can't wait to see what
I think
Joaquin...
it's like Foil de Zoiche or something like that.
Some French now. I don't know, man. But I just can't wait to see what he brings for the second movie because the first one was just so amazing that I just know the second one is gonna be, and it's Todd Phillips, he just did so well with the first one that I know the second one is just gonna be as good, if not better, honestly.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Like I said, the first one's my favorite comic book film.
Same,
but
honestly,
I'm torn on this news. I'll tell you why. So, I think I've said this before on the show. I think that first Joker is such a great singular art piece that I just don't think a sequel is necessary for it. I just don't.
I don't know. I just want to see where his life leads him now. Especially since he's escaped Arkham Asylum. I'm the one that I'm kind of like, I want to see where he goes next and what he does next. I just feel like for me, obviously it's different for you, but I just feel like for me, it kind of left me on a cliffhanger. For the first one.
I disagree. I think it was just a perfect masterpiece and great singular art piece of a film. I just don't think a sequel is necessary. But there's the other part of my brain that says this. This is why I'm saying I'm torn. Because the other part of my brain says this is a project that's so personal to Joaquin and Todd Phillips, and they hold it so close to the vest that I don't think they're going to disappoint with the sequel. I think they're going to make
definitely not. They're going to see they see how successful the first one was, that they're going to do everything in their power to make this second one as successful, and they're going to make sure they do everything in their power to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix was supposed to be Doctor Strange, if you remember, and he declined that because he didn't want to do a multi-film deal. He's not a sequel guy. So for him to have signed on to this, it must be pretty special. Oh, yeah. And to me, I'm thinking in my mind that I feel like Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, they're going to create something here that's going to feel necessary to the story. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's gonna blow our minds. Yeah. Honestly, more than this first one. I think it's going to be some out of this world shit we've never seen before. Honestly, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm bro, give it to me like now, honestly.
So again, torn, and that's my opinion. That's where I'm at. There's one side of me that's like, that first one was such a great single art piece. I just don't think a second is necessary.
I can see that too. I mean, like the first movie, I can see from someone's perspective how like it's such a great just singular movie, but at the same time, there's that part of me that's like, I could definitely see a second movie happening. Yeah. Especially what you just said, that like he's not a multi-movie person, but like he's signed on for the second one. So it's definitely special to him. He's like, I mean, if anyone's gonna play the Joker again, it should be me, because it's like it's the role that I was born to play.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys. Next topic here. So, and let us know in the comments what you think of Joaquin and Todd Phillips kind of coming back to create a Joker 2. Are you excited for this? Or do you think it's unnecessary? What are your thoughts? Let us know. Okay, guys. So this one's kind of huge too. Top Gun Maverick, which just doubled its money in the second week and has the lowest drop off of all time, and a 20% drop off in the box office, which it's majorly successful. Majorly successful. It's getting a copyright lawsuit. Now, here's what happened with this, just to give you context. So Top Gun Maverick is not really, the copyright isn't really owned by Paramount, because the first Top Gun is based on an article that was written a long time ago, 35 years ago to be or 36 years ago to be exact. So what's interesting about this is there was a new rule not that long ago placed into the film industry that basically says, if your property is 35 years old, you have the right to reclaim it and make a little bit off that. And that's cool for copyright owners, because I'm usually on the side of the owners and all that. But there's a big difference with what's going on here and a usual case. So this copyright could be really bad for Top Gun Maverick, because if Paramount doesn't settle, and I think they will, if Paramount doesn't settle with these copyright owners, which is the original article writer's wife, if they don't side with them or settle with them, I should say, and write them a big check, Top Gun Maverick could get pulled from theaters and ban Paramount from all distribution, which means that distribution rights will go into the hands of copyright owners, which who knows if they ever want to put it out again if Paramount doesn't play nice on this. So this is huge. And you know what makes this really interesting?
Look, according to the article, they're not going to settle. I mean, according to them, the copyright was, like, they had the copyright before the movie was even confirmed to come out, is what they're saying. So it doesn't seem like, according to the article, it doesn't seem like they're going to settle anytime soon or ever. They did,
but Paramount's forgetting the rule here. They're forgetting that rule that was placed in. You know, it's really interesting.
Well, I mean, I feel like that rule doesn't matter as long as the copyright was given to them before the movie was even initially going to be released. I feel like that rule's out the window as long as you have the copyright, like as long as the copyright claim was given, which is what they're claiming. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and and who knows if what they're claiming is the truth, though. That's the problem here.
And that goes for either side too, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. No, I'm not taking that off the table. But what is interesting to me is if this had come out in 2019 when it was originally supposed to,
this wouldn't have happened.
Talking about
exactly.
This, it'd be 34 years.
And you know what? We can blame China for this, by the way, because they gave us COVID. So fuck China.
So the big reason I'm not siding with the copyright owners here on this, we want to ban it from the distribution, is because of how selfish that is for the audience members. I understand that they should get a little bit of money, and I'm all for that because, you know, they own the estate. But I just feel like they're not thinking of the consumers in general. This is a really selfish move to make a buck, if you ask me. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's definitely selfish. I mean, ask for a reasonable amount of money, they'll probably give it to you. I mean, shit, this movie's already made 600 million. Who knows? I think this movie's gonna hit the 1 billion mark sooner than we think, honestly, too, because. I mean, it's already at 600 million, and this movie came out like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I mean, lowest drop off of all time in its second weekend. So that's
this movie. Yeah. This movie is definitely going to hit 1 billion a lot sooner than we think. So I mean,
granted, it stays in theaters, yes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why. Look, this is for both sides. Like, Paramount, stop being like this, but the copyright people, why are you doing? I mean, like, if you ask for a reasonable amount of money, I feel like Paramount will give it to them as long as they're not asking for a ridiculous amount of money. I think Paramount will succumb and give them that money, because I mean, it's already made so much money. It really won't hurt them to just give them a bit of money. I agree.
I think Paramount should settle on this.
Yeah,
and just let it go.
That's the thing. I think they will do it. I think they should. Do I think they will? No. I don't think they will, but I think they should. I feel like Paramount's going to try and take this to their graves. I don't think they want to settle. But at the same time, I think they should, because if they don't settle and they lose, this is going to be very bad for them. And for us as movie lovers and audiences who really just enjoyed this movie and maybe anything else that they will release in the future that we'll enjoy, honestly.
I think between this and Sonic 2. Paramount's having a hell of a year. I think they will settle, and I'll tell you why.
I still need to see Sonic 2. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, me either. But I'll tell you why I think that they're going to settle. Scarlett Johansson. I'm going to take you back a bit.
The whole Disney shit. Oh fuck.
Look, man, they were coming out saying they weren't going to settle either, but what happened?
Oh, they did settle, right?
Yeah, it's resolved now. Had to. Scarlett Johansson got a massive paycheck, and that's going to happen here. That's my prediction, but let's not take away the fact that this is very scary for us, the consumers of this film, because I want to see Top Gun Maverick again. And don't
I think Paramount needs to think about their audience members and be like, you know what, whatever they offer, we'll pay for them, because our movie's gonna make more money anyways. What does it really matter? Like,
yeah,
even if it's like 200 million, bro, you have like 400 other millions, and you're gonna make so much more other millions. I mean, it doesn't really, like, it's not really that deep. Like,
yeah,
just succumb to whatever they offer. Honestly, they're probably not even gonna offer 200 million, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I mean, they're probably not. I mean, they might. I don't know the people. They might be that stuff, but they might say that it's made 600 million and ask for like 300 million. Who knows? But like,
yeah,
you just need to think about, because this movie will probably make even more money after, like with DVD sales and all that other stuff. I mean, it's gonna make so much more money, because
assuming it gets that, because if they ban distribution, that's all.
That's what I mean. That's why I think that Paramount should succumb, because you know, if it stays and then it comes out for DVD, Blu-ray, all this other, like, it'll make so much more money. So like, it's not really that deep.
Yeah. I don't know. Questions for you guys. What do you think? Do you think that Paramount will settle? Do you think they should settle? Maybe you love the movie, but you still kind of want Paramount to stand their ground on this. Maybe you're not on the side of the copyright owner. Whatever your argument is against this, let us know in the comments below. And we're very interested to hear your opinion, because this is kind of a iffy topic for sure. Very scary topic. Let's get to the next thing here. There's a Netflix show coming out, Jose, that I know that you know about, that is getting a lot of hype.
Yeah, I saw your reaction to it.
Building a lot of steam. It just dropped a trailer. That show is Sandman. Sandman just dropped the trailer. I went ahead and put out a reaction. You guys can go check it out.
Which I saw,
My reaction to this was lukewarm. On one end, it's got some elements in there that I would typically like. However, the tone for me was leaning a little too family friendly, which there were some people who came to me, educated me, and made some really great points on that. I'm very worried about Sandman, though, and even for the people that love the property initially. I think Neil Gaiman is a very talented writer in comics, and I think his graphic novel, I haven't read it, but I know how iconic that is. I know how close and near and dear the fans hold the Sandman comics to their heart. So I'm hoping for greatness. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Again, this thing was leaning a little family friendly for me, just a tad bit. It was leaning a little bit CW for me, but we'll see what happens. I hope that I'm wrong. What was your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, so I had the opposite reaction. Honestly, from the trailer alone, it seemed to me like it was not very family friendly.
Okay.
It felt very horror, more maybe not rated R, but like, and not PG-13 either. Maybe like mature for like 18 plus or something like that. Just from the vibe that I got from the trailer, and like the blood coming from the security guard's eyes. I don't know. It just made me think, wow, this is going to be a very deep and dark show. Honestly, it kind of got me excited for it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting show. Yeah, honestly, I can't wait.
Well, they're saying this thing can overtake Stranger Things for Netflix. This is the one to do it, if anything.
That's a bold shout. Honestly.
Yeah, that's how great this material is, apparently, and how great this is going to be, hopefully. And look, I'm looking forward to it. I want the next thing. You know, I'm really looking forward to Netflix having a thing like this.
Which I still haven't finished. I haven't even continued watching that yet. I should probably do that soon.
I've seen the first 7 now. I'm caught up. It's not too bad. It's not my favorite. I like it substantially better than 3. I'll say that much. Not as much as 1 and 2, but I like it substantially more than 3. The problem and the reason I actually haven't done a review on Stranger Things, I'm kind of glad you brought this up so I can kind of talk about this for 1 second. The reason I haven't done a review on Stranger Things 4 is because I need to see the rest. I need to see how it ends. There's no way I can honestly give a good review without the rest.
There's only one episode left, and that's supposed to come July 1st. So
yeah, So it's really tough for me to judge right now without having seen the complete vision for it, honestly. And you'll know what I mean when you catch up, because I feel like we do need the complete vision for this to really give it a fair grade, to really review it properly. I need to see where this goes. So look, like I said, I'm liking, I definitely still have problems with it, but I like it substantially better than 3. It's kind of bringing me back to what I think made Stranger Things great in the first place. So I'm hoping that it stays on that path for the rest of it. So I'm just looking forward to that.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. All right. So our last story, guys, for the day, while we're waiting on Jose to get back from the restroom, we are looking at one more trailer. Now, I did put out a reaction for this trailer. It is the latest installment for the DCEU. It is Black Adam. Dwayne Johnson has been talking about Black Adam for over 8 years now. At least just a little bit over 8 years. It's been at least 8 years. And I am so looking forward to Black Adam, 100%. And I've been stoked for this. That teaser that was dropped at DC Fandom just got me jacked up. So I went ahead and I checked out the Black Adam trailer today. And let me tell you guys, it's awesome. Now, I say that in a way that there's definitely some humor in the trailer that I didn't mind, by the way. I thought it actually played really nicely. But the humor in the trailer definitely kind of showed me how Black Adam can work concurrently with Shazam a little bit more. And I thought it played really well. I thought it struck a perfect tone. I love this Black Adam trailer, and I really am starting to understand what Dwayne Johnson means when he says the balance of power is about to shift in the DCEU. I get that now, 100%. And Jose, what were your thoughts on the Black Adam trailer?
Oh my goodness, man! It made me even more excited for this, man. I honestly can't wait. Dwayne Johnson looks like he was just built for this role. I just can't. It definitely is. I think it's going to give us a better understanding for the DCEU, especially in terms of with Shazam. You know, because they're basically enemies. They're both gods. And I just can't wait to see. I think Shazam will most likely be in Black Adam. And if he is, I can't wait to see how that plays out. Honestly.
Well, let me ask you this: is Black Adam and Fury of the Gods Shazam too?
That I think it's gonna be both. I think it's gonna be Shazam in Black Adam and Black Adam and Shazam Fear of the Gods.
All right, I like it. I mean, if you had to go with my prediction, Shazam shows up in the post credit, and then Black Adam is a bigger villain than we think in Fury of the Gods. That's kind of my prediction.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna stick with. I mean, I think that Black Adam could be in Peacemaker season 2. Honestly, I think that could be pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, there's one more question. I know a lot of people want to see this happen now. There's been rumblings that they're going to give Henry Cavill another shot here at Superman over at Warner Brothers lately with David Zaslav. He's been saying some stuff over there. So do you think that Black Adam and Superman can have a crossover? Because I know a lot of people want to see this happen.
That would be a very interesting and very cool, encounter in there, since obviously they are both gods. And Black Adam's obviously more is a villain and Superman's a good guy. I think that could be a very interesting. What could be really cool is like Shazam, Peacemaker, and Superman versus Black Adam and like 2 of his other god friends that are villains. I think that could be like a really cool DCEU kind of god versus god mashup.
Very interesting. Yeah. Now I'm telling you though, Henry Cavill versus Dwayne Johnson, make that movie. Come on.
Oh, dude, that would sell. That would sell so well, man. Like
that might make $1 billion in its sleep. To be honest with you, like honestly,
I mean, it's two amazing actors and in a movie that would just be phenomenal. Honestly,
I think so. I think you can make that movie and make it work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, guys, let us know in the comment section below what you thought of the Black Adam trailer. And we're just going to keep chugging along with our action movie discussion here. Jose, what did you have next on that list?
I don't know how you feel about these movies, but every single time I watched, not all of them, but especially the first one. The first one was definitely my favorite by far. But the Has Fallen movies, Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, Angel.
I loved Olympus Has Fallen, and I never watched another one since for no apparent reason. Don't ask me why.
So Olympus Has Fallen obviously is an amazing movie. I've seen that one at least 11 times in my life. Like I've loved that movie still to this day. It's one of my favorites. The second one was not as good as the first, obviously, but it was still really good. Obviously, it was basically the same thing as Olympus, just happened in London, obviously.
Yeah.
And Angel Has Fallen, it's not the same as Olympus and London because it doesn't happen in like one building, obviously.
Hmm.
But the action in it is still really good.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
I just really like all three of them as a trilogy.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like the action in the first one, I just love so like the whole, Gerard Butler and his action stuff with all those are they Korean terrorists, and his final fight, obviously with the main Korean guy. I mean, yeah, I loved it so much, man. The action in it was just great, man. I loved it so much.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Olympus Has Fallen was great. You know what it was for me is Antoine Fuqua was the director I love, and he did Olympus Has Fallen and didn't do any of the others, so I was always just kind of worried on that end. But people say they're pretty damn good, so I mean,
I really do
watch them.
I really do enjoy all three of them. Obviously, the first better than the other two, but I mean, as a trilogy together, I think they really go hand in hand, and it's a really good trilogy, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, Olympus Has Fallen was great. I love Antoine Fuqua as a director. And speaking of Antoine Fuqua, I'm actually really glad you brought that up. It gives me a good segue into my next film. It's actually going to come as a duo here, The Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
Ooh, yeah, the Equalizers are, those are great.
Equalizer 1 and 2 are great. I actually am in the rare minority. It might be because of my Pedro Pascal bias. Equalizer 2 to me is the better one. Sorry, folks. I love the first Equalizer. I think they're both great. They're very underrated, I think, both of them. But I think Equalizer 2 is definitely the better of the two. So
I agree with that, honestly.
I'm gonna go with Equalizer here. I think that those movies were so surprising, kind of a precursor to John Wick. That was like John Wick before John Wick, in my opinion. And then, yeah, so really, really fun stuff, man. I think Denzel is amazing in those roles too. In that role, I should say, as Robert McCall. And another Chloe Grace Moretz shout out there in the first Equalizer. She was the hooker. So yeah, that's another one that I can honestly say is really blew my mind when I saw it. I love both of those films. So what's next for you?
I just added this to my list actually because I don't know why when you said Denzel Washington, it reminded me of this actor is the Taken movies.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to bring up. Look, I haven't seen Taken in ages.
Oh, same, but like I just love man. Oh, dude, Taken. Oh man, those are. I will find you.
Look,
and I will kill you.
Okay,
yeah, man, that's an iconic line right there from Liam Neeson.
So the first movie is a better action movie, but 2 to me is incredibly underrated because I love seeing the usage of his mind into a little bit more than his physical side. I thought that was a really cool take because he's like captured through a good amount of that movie, because that was the whole twist with 2 is that Liam Neeson was getting taken instead.
Right. Yeah.
So like I loved watching him use his mental abilities outside of his physical abilities. I thought that played really nicely. So that's actually a really, really good trilogy to bring up, I guess. But even though 3 is like meh to me.
Yeah, no, 3 is definitely my least favorite, but it's still a really good action trilogy, honestly.
Yeah. But 2, I think, is incredibly underrated. Not a lot of people talk about 2.
I'd love to. I mean,
I enjoyed the crap out of it.
Yeah, of course.
But the first Taken's the best, and 100%.
It's iconic.
When that movie came out, nobody thought much of it because that was the beginning of the renaissance of Liam Neeson in a big way, because like nobody really thought anything of that first Taken. It was a sleeper hit. Nobody thought it would do any kind of money.
I mean, a very iconic money. A very iconic line came from that movie. So
absolutely, it's a great action movie. I'm so glad you put that one on your list because it's phenomenal. That first Taken is so damn good.
Yep.
I want to watch that one again now that you mentioned it, because it's been a long time. I do own it, and I'm probably gonna pop it in real soon because I haven't revisited it in a while, as I said. So great pick, man. Great pick with Taken, dude.
Thank you.
Taken
of course.
Because, dude, nobody thought that movie was going to make any money. Nobody really even heard of that movie, and then it just became this pop culture phenomenon overnight. It was wild. Course. I'll never forget going to see it, not knowing anything about it myself. I saw it opening night, and was like, yeah, this is going to be okay, I guess. Wow, did that movie blow me away when I saw it.
It's so good.
It is. It's a great freaking action movie. Definitely, again, became a big part of the pop culture zeitgeist in a real big way really quickly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. Well, guys, look, that's going to wrap up the action movie discussion here. So I want to thank you guys for that. But again, let us know in the comment section below what your favorite action films are. Let us know what we missed for sure. And I would love to hear your picks for sure. Honestly, I think that there are so many great action movies. I'm sure we missed a ton that we're just not thinking of.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've got a couple others too, obviously, but
yeah. So that's going to end that, guys. Okay. So look, we had 2
oh
episodes of shows come out
yes,
that we need to
oh
talk
my
about.
god, this is what I was looking forward to, honestly.
So these are going to be spoiler discussions, folks.
Right,
And we're
of course.
saving
So
it for the end.
yeah,
for that
yeah. I was gonna say, if you haven't
reason.
seen it yet, click off, go watch them, and then come back and watch this part.
So I am talking about, of course, the latest episode of Obi Wan Kenobi.
And
we need to
the
talk about
premiere.
Miss Marvel. The premiere of Miss Marvel.
Oh man. Oh,
let's
dude.
talk about this.
You want to start with Kenobi or Miss Marvel?
Let's start with Miss Marvel.
Okay, bro.
So
this episode, man. Oh, I honestly thought I didn't think that I was gonna like it as much as I did. Honestly, it started kind of. Obviously, it's gonna start kind of slow because it's the premiere and it's our first introduction to this character. But man, did this episode really just impressed the hell out of me. I really enjoyed this, and it honestly got me even more excited for the next episodes. Man, it was great.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Well, look, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on something here. This thing's great from the beginning to end to me. I have never been hooked so quickly into an MCU show. It's perfection. The shots, the editing, the character work, the lighting. I can go.
Oh no, yeah,
all day.
all that stuff.
The
was
soundtrack is awesome.
Bro, the cinematography, it was all just. It was great, man. I loved it so much.
I did not expect this pilot to be as good as it was, dude. And
honestly, same.
Like,
and
I have faith in the show, but I did not expect the pilot to be this damn good, and it
was
dude.
Oh, dude, yeah. I honestly great. I loved it so much.
Of all the first episodes, and this can change next week, it is my favorite of all the first episodes of MCU shows, hands down, easily. I've never been so hooked on one. I've never
even
seen...
compared. Well, yeah, I was gonna say because you didn't really enjoy Moon Knight the first time you saw it. So,
yeah, all of them, dude. I think this is the best one. It's
honestly for me,
the editing, everything is perfect.
For me, I Moon Knight and Miss Marvel for me are kind of like. In terms of premiere episodes, those two are kind of like level for me because I really did enjoy the premiere of Moon Knight. But yeah, honestly, this premiere episode of Miss Marvel really just surprised me, and it really was just a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Honestly,
and it's so damn funny too. Like the comedy is so good. I was so shocked.
Bruno's
made me laugh.
Yeah, Bruno's a good character, man.
They're all good. That's the thing I love is the characters are so damn good. And spoilers, guys, like we said, but like when the dad pops out in the Hulk thing,
dude, that was funny.
Ass off. I was like, oh my god, and then it goes into these emotional beats so incredibly well when
she finds her powers for the first time, dude, that was it was great. Avenger Con, that's a cool concept. Make that happen, that'd be sick.
This show knows what it is, dude, and you're right. Avengers Con, thank you for bringing that up because it really took you inside Avengers Con and made it a place that you want to be at. It was awesome, dude. I love this show. I can't wait for episode 2, man. It really blew my mind.
It almost reminded me of like Star Wars Celebrations in a way, but for the Avengers, and that'd be a really cool concept to do in real life for people who are, as you know, for like us Star Wars fans, people who are really big Avengers fans, to have a convention for them, that'd be sick.
I really want to know what the budget is because I was so shocked at how expensive this thing looked. It looked the most like a movie of everything they've done. 100%.
I mean, I was just saying, I know a lot of the Marvel shows that we've had now have had some really big budgets, but I'm really intrigued to know what the budget for this one is because, like you said, I think this one probably was the most expensive of every single one that we've seen so far.
And I actually think it's more. I attribute it actually more to just the style of the filmmaking. I just think they made it look more expensive than it actually is. And I think that's so damn impressive. I think that this thing was awesome. And Kamala Khan, my God, do you fall in love with her?
And this was her first role, really, her first big role ever, really. And man, she just performed so fucking like, man. When I found out that this was her first role ever really on TV. to see her performance in this premiere episode, man, it was honestly just impressed the hell out of me.
I love her obsession with the Avengers and especially Captain
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, and it doesn't come across annoying. This movie, it's about a child, but it doesn't come off too kiddish. It doesn't come off too geared toward children, and
Right.
that's not to say this is going to be for everybody, and I understand. But I'm just saying, when you look at the style of the filmmaking, it was absolute perfection, and blew me away, knocked my socks off, dude. Like, I can't believe how good this actually turned out to be, and just I was every piece of Kamala Khan's story is so captivating, and it sets up for what's going to be such a great series. I really think the pieces are there. I hope they don't screw it up. I'm hoping next week delivers just as much. It just seems like they have a natural progression to go with.
Do we know how many episodes this one's going to be?
6, I think.
6.
I think. And
that seems to be Disney's, like, Marvel's thing, is just like 6 episodes for every single show for the first season.
It's like their more movie styled stuff is kind of going for the 6, and then you got like WandaVision, which is a little bit more built for TV, goes for 9, and then same for She-Hulk, which kind of looks like a procedural. It's going to be 9. So, but dude, I'm so stunned by how much I love this. Still, I can't stop thinking about it. It is my favorite of the show so far in terms of just the first episode alone. We'll see.
How many times have you seen it?
Just once, honestly. And
yeah, same.
I want to watch it again, but I'm still just stunned by how great that young girl performed and how electric she was from the get-go. The charisma's there.
And again, her first performance ever, and man, she just really out-delivered herself. Really showed that you can do it, man. Honestly, like, and anyone out there who's wanting to become an actor, she's a perfect example of, she's never had a big role, and you can do it if you just put your mind to it and really just perform.
A big win for Pakistan on this one. I mean, honestly, like, the Pakistani they got a big win on this one, because I think that this show is going to be wildly successful. I thought this pilot, again, I'm not saying this is my favorite MCU thing in the world. I'm not going there. I'm saying, as far as pilots go, for all the shows that they've done, this is the best. It's perfection. Same, for sure. Yeah.
And it's shot in Atlanta, baby. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And they big up Atlanta.
Yeah, big up for you. But
the Trilla Studios in Fayetteville, Georgia. I mean,
yeah. And I was telling you, I felt like I was watching an Edgar Wright directed thing. That's impressive for something that's being done on television. And wow, did it deliver? Just the camera angles, the style. I was
everything. Honestly,
I was in awe of it, dude. I thought it was just so well directed.
The costume designs.
Design is awesome.
Oh man! Again, shout out to Pakistan for their clothing, and stuff like that. But it was, I mean, and too, like, her Captain Marvel outfit too was really impressive. I thought that was a really cool costume.
I like that Kamala Khan, this being an origin story, she's going to be a character that we're really going to see stumble and fall a lot, and really have to work to learn to become a hero. Honestly, that's what it seems like it's going for.
And now that I think about it too, there's a movie coming out called The Marvels, and she could be in it.
She is in it. She's confirmed to be in that with Brie Larson. So
there you go.
Yeah, she was talking on Jimmy Fallon the other day about how when she first met Brie Larson on that set.
Oh, she probably went crazy.
Oh yeah. And she is like, I loved watching her on Fallon because she's an actual MCU fan. Like, she really is. She's a major MCU fan. She would explain to her parents all the MCU lore before they watch an MCU movie together. Like, she would have to do that and to refresh them. And
that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
She is Kamala Khan, which is, I think, why it works. She is this character.
I was gonna say she just is the character.
Yeah.
Which is why she just was able to play this character so amazing, is because she is Kamala Khan.
It just explains to you so much about her right from the get-go, and it did such a great job setting her up. She's a really, right from the get-go, super captivating character, man, and I love that. I love those animations. The animations are so good too.
Yeah, like the drawing stuff too. Yeah, it's all. And honestly, it reminded me almost kind of like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when the stuff was on the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a comic book come to life in a way, right? And so that was just incredible. It's got a lot of art in this. Like, it's got a crazy good artistic style.
Shout out to the editing people for this show, because they really just outdid themselves with the obviously those drawings on the walls and on the buildings, and
Yeah.
just all the kind of drawing aspects that were shown throughout this entire movie.
Best CGI I've seen in one of these things
Oh,
too,
yeah.
because in one of these shows that they've done so far, the CGI just looked on point again. I think a lot of it is the lighting choices and the editing style that's making it look as expensive as it looks.
Purple and blue from her powers, that was really cool too, with the whole CGI. Yeah, that was all really cool.
Yeah, and it's setting up this lore with this bracelet that she's putting on. I'm loving this, dude.
Which again is Pakistan, so big up to the Pakistan people.
Yeah, they're having a ball right now, and they get to see it in the movie theater over there. So wonderful.
And it's really cool to see a character from that. Obviously, we first saw in the video game for the Avengers game, right? That's her character, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Seeing that character come to life right now in this show with someone as talented as the girl who plays Kamala Khan is just great.
She's one of the most recent Marvel characters written into the comics, and so it's kind of a big thing right now. But look, and just having her in this show being brought to life, couldn't have done it better. I was so impressed with this. I really was. It was so vibrant and colorful, and just I love it, dude. I love it.
And like trippy too. Like it was very, very trippy.
A lot of the camera work made it feel very
exactly.
It was just wonderful, and I really think everybody should check this one out. Again, it's not going to be for everybody, and I get that because of you're not going to be able to relate to it. Some people, I don't think, but
if you're someone out there that appreciates film and like the works of the film industry, you definitely need to check this out.
Film enthusiasts should be very excited about this show,
because this show is it's just out of this world. Honestly, I just really enjoyed this premiere episode, and
I'm so excited for it to start getting into the villain setup, and I'm just so curious. It's sparked my curiosity. I love that it just doesn't feel rushed. It's paced perfectly,
and there's those scenes where she like talks to her parents about like, you know, because she obviously eventually tells them about her powers, and they kind of have like these deep conversations with her. Those are ones that I'm really looking forward to as well, because those are going to be some very heartfelt, emotional moments in the show.
100%, dude. And I love this. You're right, and the heart it wears its heart on its sleeve with the relationship between Kamala and her parents, and I love it. And the humor is so good. It is one of the funniest things that they've delivered.
I like how they like put their own different kind of like Alexa into the show.
Yeah.
The whole Zuzu or whatever it's called. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. It's all so good, man. It's all so good. And I'm curious, guys. So what did you guys think of Miss Marvel that are still here? Let us know in the comments section below, and we're just gonna move right along. Obi Wan Kenobi, episode 4. Let's get into this thing, man. I know you're very excited to talk about this one.
Oh, before we get into it, let me just tell you, this is gonna make you pretty mad. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But in this summer class I'm taking, we always kind of like talk about movies or shows that we've seen in the past, obviously, couple of days, because the class is every two days a week. And someone mentions Obi-Wan, and every single person that's seen Obi-Wan in the class, they all hate it.
Really?
Because they don't get why Obi Wan Kenobi is the way that he is in the show. That it fucks with the canon, and like that's not actually Obi Wan. I'm like, you gotta understand, this dude has been in hiding for like 17 years. He's not gonna be the same Obi Wan that we know and love. Like,
definitely heard division on this, and that's that's definitely been a big element that's around. That's nothing new to me, because I've heard division on the show, and some of it's getting a little ugly, unfortunately, and that scares me. I just hope the finale brings it all kind of back around for everybody. I really do. But look, I got Star Wars that I'm loving, and that's the important part for me. It's always going to come down to my personal relationship with the property. I'm blocking out that noise. I'm done with the arguing. I'm done with the fighting.
Yeah, same here, honestly. Yeah, same. Yeah.
There's no reason, man. If you don't like it, fine. That's fine. You don't like it. That's okay. I think a lot of people don't like it for the wrong reasons, but if you don't like it, fine. Just stay out of my space and let me enjoy it. That's
I kind of feel like the people that, especially the ones in my class, the ones that are hating on it, are maybe ones that kind of just recently got into Star Wars and don't really understand the whole canon of Star Wars.
Yeah. For me, this is fantastic. Now,
Oh,
I'll say this:
I'm loving
this
it.
this isn't my favorite episode so far. It was definitely
Oh,
episode three,
three is
but
definitely my
of the four so far.
of the four, three was definitely my favorite too. Yeah, for sure.
But dude, this was so good, and just again, just driving the story forward in great ways and leading into what's going to be that big rematch. It's really doing
I was
that.
just say,
It's
honestly,
foreshadowing it.
like again, spoiler guys for
Yeah,
you.
big
But
spoilers. Yeah,
the scene where Riva like is about to poke out Leia's eyes, man. You think at first that it's actually gonna happen, but then obviously you realize, wait, Leia's obviously alive because she survives and she's in episode 4. But like you're still in that suspenseful moment where you think that it's actually gonna happen, and then dude, it's oh man.
This young gal, Vivia Lyra Blair, becomes Princess Leia to me more and more and more with each
Oh,
episode.
100.
It's
She's like, I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'd rather take it. She's like, she's basically saying, I'd rather take it to my grave than tell you anything.
Yeah,
like it's literally Princess Leia because
100%, man.
Yeah,
I don't know that everybody's gonna catch on to that, and I know that everybody hasn't, but for me, more and more she's becoming Leia. There's more aspects that I'm seeing, and even
I didn't think a little girl could just be such an amazing actress. Honestly, like
so good.
She's killing it. Honestly, she's giving such an amazing performance throughout the show. And
this isn't like Jake Lloyd from the prequels, man. I mean,
she's actually like
steps above by far. They casted really well for this, and it shows me Lucasfilm was really taking care of this character.
Oh yeah,
and I
and that they're really taking it serious too. They want to make sure that they give the best, and they really have shown that with this little girl too. Like she's just playing Princess Leia to the T.
Look, and I think Deborah Chow is doing a great job directing this too. Let me throw that out there, because there are action moments in this movie that I love, or the show that I love, and specifically Obi Wan. He gets his own little hallway scene now, right?
Oh,
with the lightsaber.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When the lights are off and he's taking out the stormtroopers.
That was amazing. That was cool.
He takes out the first one, turns his lightsaber off, goes to the other one, takes the other one out.
Cooler than shit. Yeah.
When he's blocking the bullets and hitting the stormtroopers with it, amazing.
Dude, brought me right back to Revenge of the Sith, which I loved.
And then
yeah.
Oh, and when the window is about to break and the water's gonna come through, he's like holding it with the force. Dude, that scene was oh, dude, I loved it. And then obviously when they're about to escape and Riva's with the stormtroopers and they're about to get shot, you think they're about to get shot, but then those other two ships come and just start blasting all these stormtroopers, and they're blasting their way through the front. And oh my gosh, the ending when you find out that she fucking rigged Lola to be a tracker, I was like, oh shit, here we go, it's about to get interesting.
Absolutely, man.
Fuck.
And we get this other Vader scene in here, which just shows the aggression.
Oh, when he's choking Riva. Oh my god,
so good, man.
Dude.
It
was so good.
Yeah, and the people that are I hate to harp on it, but the people that are like saying that this is inconsistent, and have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah, I was about to say, like
this is the most Star Wars has been in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just so blown away by that. Now, look, I mean, again, this isn't the best episode of Obi-Wan, but look, this is really good stuff, man. I mean, it's really building up to this final battle.
They've been my friends from my class have been hating on this Kenobi show since the first episode. I don't get it.
It's just wild to me, and like, because this is the most Star Wars has been again in a long time.
And you know what they said too is like, why are characters that have died, why are they making shows and bringing them back? I'm like, well, first of all, this is a story happening before Alec Guinness's role as Obi-Wan. This is basically between 3 and 4. So, I mean, it makes sense that they're doing this show.
Yeah.
I mean, you might hate it because they're releasing this now when those movies came out way long time ago, but it's still, I mean, just appreciate it for the fact that the time that this takes place and the greatness that this show is bringing. I mean, it's letting you know what happened canon wise in between episodes 3 and 4 of the movies,
and furthering that connection and between all this stuff. This show really is doing that, and I'll never. Oh man, a tear came to my eye when Leia took Obi-Wan's hand at the end.
Oh,
that was so heartfelt and really tugged on the heartstrings. Yeah, me too. And the first thing I thought of was Kylo Ren. It makes so much sense why she would name him after Obi-Wan now. It's really coming together for me. So I'm loving that, dude. And the heart's there.
And then another thing my friends are hitting on too is the fact that Obi-Wan and Vader are fighting too many times in this show when they should have only really fought in A New Hope. I'm like, why are you hating on? Obviously, they're gonna fight again. I mean, they're fucking enemy. Vader wants Obi Wan Kenobi dead for doing what he did to him. Why wouldn't they?
First
fight
of all,
more?
they haven't fought that much yet. But secondly, that's the show. That was the pitch. It's the rematch
Exactly.
of the century. That's what
Like they're like,
Kennedy said.
why did Obi Wan and Vader fight in Episode 3? I'm like, that's what you want to complain about?
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. Look, no, dude, the people that are hating on this, I really, I'm sorry, I don't think they get it. And
yeah, no, they don't.
They're really misunderstanding something big here. Dude, this is awesome.
I decided to keep my mouth shut because I knew anything I said they would just keep arguing on. So
you don't like it,
I'm
don't like it, but like, just stay out of my space and let me enjoy it. That's all I'm asking, because I'm just tired of the bullshit. But
yeah,
I am. I'm getting
that's why I kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to keep talking because I knew that they would just keep bouncing on that and keep trying to find ways to just hate on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just let you talk.
Yeah, and look, I could watch it next week and go, oh God, you know, that could happen. But right now, I'm telling you, stay off.
Oh yeah, honestly,
please.
Yeah,
this is awesome stuff for me. Like this is incredible Star Wars, and I'm loving Reva more and more as a villain. The more this goes on, I think she's incredibly intimidating. I'm loving the work she's doing. I like this tension between her and Sun Kang's character.
Oh, another cool thing too was like the back to tank scenes with Vader and Kenobi when they went back and forth. That I really did.
I thought that was a great touch, and and seeing now we're starting to see the start of the rebellion a little bit. We're seeing that kind of take place, which I think is cool. It's not a fully formed rebellion. I love that line from Tala when she's like, you guys really are soldiers now.
Exactly.
Wayne gets taken out there at the end, which was wild. I was like, oh shit, man, this show is so good, man. It is the most Star Wars has been in a long time, and it is. It's the most Star Wars has been in a while. That's probably the best thing I could say for it. So I don't think a lot of people get that. The other part of it that I would say is, you know, Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan. What are you talking about? He's becoming the guy we see in Tatooine in Episode 4. That's what this is leading to.
I was about to say, this is basically the events before he becomes that old man Ben from Episode 4.
And we're seeing the moments that led to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know what people don't get about that. I don't know why people are upset about it. I mean, you want to see the Obi-Wan that we knew and loved from Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Well, I mean, that's just not where we are in this timeline. If I'm being honest, come on now, like, be realistic here.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, I'm loving every minute of the show, and
same.
This I heard some people say this was a filler episode. I highly disagree. It drove the story forward. It's drove it forward. Seeing Obi-Wan use the Force again to hold the glass in place was cool.
That was sick. And to see him struggle doing that too, obviously reminds you of the fact that he hasn't used the Force in so long.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that he's starting to be one with the Force a little more now too, because he was actually able to hold that. Because obviously, when in the first episode, if you asked him to do that, he wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing that he's kind of getting more in touch with the Force again.
Yeah.
Being able to hold back that glass.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say this. I mean, this episode was definitely simplistic in comparison to others. It was shorter in length, and it was a simple story. Just go get Leia and get her out. I get that. But it drove the story forward, man. I really think it did. And it's
like that episode in The Mandalorian where Mando went with those bad guys to go and save someone and then come back.
Yeah, that's what was.
Exactly. It was like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I have no quarrel with this one. You know what I mean?
No, neither. No,
I think it's perfect to drive it forward. It really kind of felt like a Rebels episode live action, you know, to me. Like, that's kind of how I looked at this one. It felt like, even though this isn't Filoni's show per se, it felt like it had that Filoni touch to it, which I really liked, and it did. It felt like something he would do, and I think Deborah Chow's learned a lot from Filoni. You can see it, and she's definitely taken his tricks and incorporating it into this show here.
I mean, she has directed episodes from other shows that Favreau has been a part of, and you definitely can see the aspects that she's kind of gotten influenced by from him in this show. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I like that she's putting her own touch on it. She
exactly
really has her own stamp, her own brand. The style of lightsaber action is very different than we'd seen before. It's not bad, it's just different. I think that's where people get confused sometimes, is that people think different is bad. It's not. It's every creator has the right to put their own stamp on this.
it's also because this is a different story,
Yeah.
and it's a different timeline to what we've seen previously. So
Yeah.
it's scenes are going to be different from what you've seen before, but
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's a good thing because different is, in my opinion, difference for the most part always good
Yeah.
because it's something we've never seen before. So
Yeah. And next week is going to be a lot more telling. Obviously, we see the penultimate. We're going to be like really be able to see where this finale is going.
Yeah.
And at that point, we can go, maybe that's possible.
The last episode is definitely going to be a big fight between Vader and Kenobi for sure.
Yeah. I think that there's going to be a lot of developments next week for sure, though. I definitely do. We're
still to see the Grand Inquisitor come back.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So
I'm loving the crap out of the show. I really am, dude. I think that this is just
same.
Again, it's not perfect, nor is it my favorite Star Wars at this point, but it is great. It's great Star Wars.
Oh, for sure.
As I'm concerned, and I think the finale might bring people back. I do. I think that the finale is going to bring people back around on it. I really do. I think when people see the vision, I think it's one of those things like Stranger Things. I was saying we do need to see the complete vision to fully judge it, and I think that we're going to get there. And I'm actually, it makes me nervous. It really does, because trust me, I'm such a big Star Wars fan that while I am enjoying every second of this, I'm still very nervous for how this finale is going to pan out. I am. I'm very nervous because I think there are things that it has to do 100%. I'm not gonna not.
And I think
that
I think
those things.
And I think they will in these next 2 episodes for sure.
Yeah, if it doesn't do those things, I will hold it accountable like everybody else. But we're in episode 4 of 6. I think people need to calm down. I think when we get there, it's gonna bring us all.
I'm ready to receive some crap tomorrow for this episode from my friends as well.
Yeah,
and I'll find out in these next 2 weeks for episode 5 and 6 to see where my friends stand on it. Because I mean, we'll see.
I'm telling you, man, I'm enjoying it. It's
same.
It's too
for
good.
Sure.
I think the performances are so good. First of all, I think there are so many elements in there that are Star Wars. I think there's Star Wars elements that are definitely going to go over people's heads, only because like last week, this week in particular, but like last week, the Quinlan Vos reference, I don't think people realize like how significant that actually is to canon, that he's kind of still around and helping out with the rebellion. That's very substantial.
I haven't understood that until honestly now, obviously, because I didn't really know about him.
Yeah, that's substantial. That's cool that they're kind of looking into that a little bit more. Yeah, I like this episode. It felt like an episode of The Mandalorian a little bit, but like in a good way. Like I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like a great episode of The Mandalorian a little bit more. It's showing the tricks that Deborah Chow kind of pulled forward from there. And she's really, she's a really good director. As unexperienced as she is, she's so good.
I mean, didn't she do a couple in Boba Fett as well?
No, she just did 2 of the Mandalorian and Star Wars. And to me, that's part of what makes it so impressive is how little experience with Star Wars she's had, but she gets it so well. She's absorbed the information.
I mean, she learned from one of the best, Jon Favreau.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Dave Filoni too, obviously, because he was a part of Mandalorian as well. But yeah.
Again, not my favorite Star Wars thing, and I don't think it will stand as my favorite Star Wars thing once all said and done. I think that there's going to be a lot more that I'm going to like better coming out soon.
I think so far my favorite's definitely still to this day Mandalorian
from Disney. You mean?
Yeah, from Disney. Yeah. From Disney, Mandalorian is still definitely the best that Disney's done.
Yeah,
and that's just a credit to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
And we've had more of it to this show.
Exactly. Yeah.
benefit.
Exactly.
We've had more Mandalorian.
But I think I'd have to see how this show ends. But
yeah, I'm with you.
In comparison to season 1 of Mandalorian to this season 1 of Kenobi so far, I still enjoyed season 1 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Season 1 of Kenobi. Yeah,
I'm with you there. But again, to this show's benefit anyway, we've had more of that. There were more episodes of Mando, and we don't know how this ends. This could honestly become better to us. It is heading in a direction, in my opinion, it has the potential to be better than Mando.
I don't know, man. Grogu still holds a special heart.
I don't know if it has the potential to be better than Mando season 2, but I think it has the potential to be better than Mando season 1 for me. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But we'll see. Dude, the rematch is coming, folks. Just keep that in mind. I'm telling you, it's coming, and I don't think that they are really in a position to be able to afford to disappoint us on that. I think that's going to be.
They're not gonna want to because they
Yeah.
know that if they do, then they're screwing the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Universe.
And again, I think once we see it all come together, it's just going to be like, wow. I do. I have that feeling in my heart. Even though I know something about the ending, I'm not going to give it away.
Wow. How do you already know, bro?
I just know something about the ending, but I'm not going to give that away. But I am going to say that could be a divisive thing depending on the execution. It's just one little element of it. We'll see. But I think I'm going to love it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm going to love it. I'm happy I know about it because I think I'm going to love it. But
well, if you think you're going to love it, then I probably will too.
Yeah. So personally, I think it's a good direction for the show. Anyway, guys, look, that's our discussion. That's Movie Mornings. That is the end of this episode. I want to thank everybody for joining again. We're sorry David Tresh couldn't be here. He's sorry too. He had internet issues today. Couldn't get logged on, and he was supposed to be here, and I know he's very sorry he couldn't be. But yeah, guys, we are going to get going here. We are seeing Jurassic World Dominion this weekend, so probably a spoiler review coming up. If anything, I'm definitely going to put out a non-spoiler for that as soon as I see it. So there's that. We have a Drive discussion coming up. It's one of my favorite movies in recent years, and I think it's just worth rewatching and analyzing, and I can't wait to Show Mr. Jose Espinel that movie. I'm so pumped for you to see this, man.
I honestly can't wait either.
I'm so pumped, and so that'll be going on here really soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. Jose, before we go, where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials at Type 1 Latino, all lowercase, all together, and on stereo.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram Dom_Martino_ official. And make sure you leave comments and let us know what you think of all the topics today. We would love to hear those and respond to you guys. Me and Jose have been trying to be very interactive in the comment section below there, so make sure you do that as well. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section below, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications because you'll get notified for all future content. All right, guys, that said, I've been Dom Martino. That's been Jose Espinel, and we're going to talk to you guys later.
See ya.